Hello, everyone, and welcome to Leadership and Neurodiversity. You may notice I'm recording in a different location today. I'm just testing this out for the fun of it. I think it's time for me to try different approaches. Anyway, this is the video for Thursday, July 10th. Since this is a Thursday, it's time for questions and issues related to neurodiversity. And I've been thinking about this one. This is what I would have done if I had done a video last Thursday, and it's still relevant now. Noise and and atmosphere is the focus this week. And what I find is that a lot of people are uncomfortable with a lot of noise in their workplace or at home, or they may have issues with lights and fluorescent lights in particular. It's funny, I remember, and I don't think this person never said he was neurodivergent, but I remember somebody I worked with years ago would tap on the fluorescent light to get and just loosen it enough to get it to turn it off. And they would come back and put it back on every few months, and then he immediately would turn it back on, would do the same thing. And I thought it was interesting, not knowing that I was autistic at the time, not knowing that many autistic people have issues with lights. Um, Discussion this week was on one of the topics of discussion this week was on headphones, and ironically, the recommended headphones are a Sony brand or Sony model that I actually own. They're really good. Um, there's a newer model out now, but it's $100 some odd more, and the difference isn't large enough to make that happen. So I say, you have if you're working with neurodivergent people, you have to be aware of the conditions they're comfortable in. They let them tell you what they're comfortable, how they're comfortable working, and then you help make them comfortable in that space. It's very straightforward. It's a low cost or no cost way um, to do accommodations, and I think it helps in the long run. Now, as for me, I've been in some very unusual situations. I've been in an office that I've had an office space that's literally the size of a phone booth. I've shared an office with my boss. I've shared an office with her boss. I have no problem with noise. I drown out the noise. Matter of fact, the tactic I use is if I'm shooting a free throw in a basketball game, and if you've ever watched basketball, the crowd makes noise if the opposing team is shooting a free throw. If the visiting team is shooting a free throw, they make a lot of noise and try to distract them, and the person shoots and makes the basket. And I've been using that technique for years, going back to when I was in junior high school. And I would always be seen doing my homework in the lunchroom. Um, and people thought that was a little bit unusual. I said, I just drown out the noise. I don't bother. It's just a technique I learned from watching basketball. As far as noise goes in general, I am a season ticket holder for the New Jersey Devils hockey team. I sit in the first row of the upper deck, literally at center ice. And when I say at center ice, I mean if they take the red stripe on the center ice line and keep drawing it all the way up to the crowd, I would have a red stripe in the middle of my shirt. That's what I mean by on the center line. I've been in soccer stadiums in Europe where the crowds are very loud, and I'm perfectly fine with it. Not everybody's the same way. You have to respect what's comfortable for each person. Each person can decide for themselves. I've seen more and more now that kids who are sensitive to noise are wearing headphones at sporting events, and I think that's great. I think that's if it helps it reduce the kids if it makes the kid more comfortable, if it helps the kid enjoy the game more, great. That's the way it should be. Now I want to talk before I go about there's going to be some changes coming up in the next few weeks regarding the Leadership and Neurodiversity series. As you know, Tuesday night is the first ever roundtable discussion for autistic long-term mid-level employees. This is the world's first. I am on a social media blitz. I'm going to be putting out a press release. I don't think anybody's going to read it, but hey, I'm getting a press release done about it. So let's see what happens there. That should be out Saturday or Friday, Saturday, or Monday. So with that in mind, Saturday is going to be talking more about the publicity and the social media blitz I'm going on. Monday will be an introduction to who I am because A lot of people don't know who I am and what I'm doing in this and what this is all about, what it's going to be all about. Thursday the 14th, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Thursday the 17th will be the first discussion of what happened on Tuesday. Insights will be coming up on the following Saturday. I'll be going back to a normal Monday schedule, and then for the following 4 Thursdays, the 24th, July 24th, July 31st, August 7th, and August 14th, I'm going to be putting up a series of PowerPoint presentations that I have recorded for my current class at International Organizational Behavior. I've put a neurodiversity spin on each of these. I think, and these are required for my class. So the reason why it's going to be in those 4 weeks, because those are the weeks that they're assigned. I've already recorded them. I've already recorded the videos. They're short videos. I think they'll be very informative. I think it'll help people understand what I'm learning and what I'm doing in the class, and it'll give people a chance to understand the neurodiversity side of things. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you like what you saw, like, share, and subscribe. And I hope to see you next one.